Good afternoon and welcome to the Division II Field Hockey Selection Show. I'm your host, Will Haskett. It is one of the most exclusive brackets in all of college athletics, and it is back. And for those of you watching, your team could be just a couple of wins away from being able to call itself a national champion. And again this year, 6 teams will hear their names called. 3 at-large selections come from each of the Atlantic and the East regions. Top 2 seeds earning byes to the national semifinals held in Millersville, Pennsylvania on November the 19th, and the championship 2 days later. First round games face off this coming Saturday. So let's set the matchups right now so everybody can start making travel plans. The first team to unveil is our top seed and earning a bye to the semifinals. That belongs to Shippensburg, who's coming fresh off of a 3-1 victory in the PSAC championship game. The Raiders bringing an undefeated record into the NCAA tournament, trying to become the first champion without a loss in 11 years. The 4-time champions ran off 3 in a row from 2016 to 2018 before giving up the crown the last time we played this championship. That title belonged to Westchester, who the Raiders just beat in that aforementioned PSAC championship game, and it took a comeback to do it. The tournament MVP and PSAC Athlete of the Year was senior midfielder Jasmine Petrantonio. She scored the game-winning goal, her 105th career goal, third most in NCAA Division II history. She leads the nation with 2 goals per game, and is program's second conference title with a 16-year gap in between. The 4-5 matchup will be hosted by the top seed of this game. That's 4th seeded East Stroudsburg. The Warriors, as always, tested by a strong schedule, rattled off 8 straight wins to close out the regular season before a loss in the PSAC tournament. That came against Westchester, who they did beat in the regular season on October the 19th. In fact, after starting this year with 2 straight losses, the Warriors went 15-2 the rest of the way, with the only losses coming against the 2 top teams in the region, including undefeated Shippensburg. This is a team comfortable with winning and capable of beating anybody as it seeks a national championship for the 2nd time. They face the 5th seed. That belongs to Bentley. Nothing like celebrating the 20-year anniversary of the Falcons' lone national title by returning to the tournament for the first time since 2012, and it came with some nervous moments, however. A quarterfinal loss in the conference tournament likely put their regional ranking in danger and of perhaps losing this berth. That game went to a shootout, something the Falcons hadn't expected after rattling off 9 straight wins in the month of October. They outscored their opponents by a combined 26-5 in that month. So congratulations to Jessica Spencer, head coach, on guiding this program back to the national tournament. Final bye in the 2nd seed is in the hands of Assumption. After making the program's first ever NCAA Division II tournament back in 2019, it has been a long wait to return to the tournament to now try and get the program's first win. And what they do, what do they just say, wins championships? That would be defense, right? Yep, the Greyhounds have plenty of it. The Northeast 10 champions posted 8 shutouts and allowed just 2 goals throughout the entire month of October. That helped lead to the conference's top mark in goals against, ranking 3rd of the nation. Kylie Gargiulio is in net, and her 85% save percentage is one of the top marks in the entire country. That leaves the 3 seed in a first-round game for Westchester. They're still the reigning champions of the sport until somebody knocks them from the top spot, but they suffered that 3-1 loss to Shippensburg in the PSAC championship, which was the first time the Golden Rams had lost in the title game since becoming a D2 program. The 3-time national champions may have turned over several names from the title run 2 years ago, but there is plenty of depth still on this roster, including 15 different players that have netted goals this season for a top 4 offense in the country. So that leaves 1 spot and an opponent for Westchester. So give a big exhale to Adelphi in the tournament for the first time since 2015. The Panthers storming into the Northeast 10 championship game. They gave Assumption all it could handle in a tight 3-2 final score. That came on the heels of 3 straight shutout wins by a total aggregate of 11-0, vaulting them up the regional rankings and into this very precious final spot in the tournament. Presence of the Panthers in this bracket means there are absolutely no sure results coming up this week. So there you have it, all 6 teams in your bracket getting set to compete for a Division II Field Hockey National Championship. And with that, it allows us to bring in a lady who has been right in the mix of trying to figure out exactly what 6 teams we were going to have to unveil today. She's the chair of the committee, Stacey Gaudette. Stacey, boy, I know when it's such a small bracket and such a tight championship to try and put together, it comes down to the final weekend. How tough was the job to get the best 6 into this bracket?
In a good way, it was really tough. We have so many teams here that are setting records both defensively and offensively. We have Jasmine Petrantonio with all the goal scoring she's doing, and then we have the team from Assumption just shutting everybody down in the East. So it was a very tough call. It was a very long call this morning.
What are those discussions like, and what are you sort of looking for and leaning on when it comes to who's playing the best versus that body of work from the season?
I think we concentrate on both. The body of work is clearly important. It's a full season. It's a body of work. We do look at, some of these teams. Bentley was on that 9-game winning streak. That's at the end of the season. Getting hot at the end of the season is what you want to do. And that also comes into play. These teams have all been very steady, though, throughout the season. As you mentioned, there's a couple losses to each other, the higher ranked teams, but it's a strong body of work for all 6 of them.
Well, it's exciting to get it done because now all that matters is what actually takes place on the field itself. How much excitement do you have, not just because we're going to have a champion in a couple of weeks, but to have a tournament after missing out on one a year ago?
I can't tell you how excited we are. We're the first championship to come through in the year in Division II always, and for us to have the first championship back after the COVID year break, it's very exciting. These teams match up so well on paper, and just to see them out on the pitch is going to be it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a great weekend down in Millersville. Well,
congratulations on assembling a really strong bracket. We can't wait to see how it all plays out. Stacey, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
A reminder that the 2 first-round matchups for this championship take place this coming Saturday. There you see the schedule. We will whittle it down to the semifinals coming up on November the 19th, with the championship just a couple of days later in Millersville, Pennsylvania. Make sure you follow all of the action, all of the information leading up to the Division II championship right here on NCAA.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Will Haskett. Congratulations and best of luck to all the student athletes competing in this year's championship.
There's an energy swelling out beyond the limits of your expectations. A universe where fandom reigns supreme. Once you're in it, it changes you. Instead of one of one, you're one of many. A blissful sea of chaos. Go beyond your limits and enter the NCAA universe. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets.